It's time for the RMAC Radio Show, featuring all the latest information from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The RMAC is a proud member of NCAA Division II. Now, here's your host, Eric Danner.
Welcome to the RMAC Radio Show. Eric Danner with you. This is week number 13, Thanksgiving week. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there listening on the RMAC Radio Network. We have football to talk about. We have a new national champion in cross country, Adams State men. They won the national championship. We're going to talk to Damon Martin, their head coach, in our second segment. Also have 5 teams making the NCAA volleyball tournament. We're going to talk some volleyball in segment number 3. Colorado Mines women's soccer made it to the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament, and we're eliminated. We'll talk about that in segment 3 also, but we start off with football. CSU-Pueblo, the number 1 team in the land, number 1 team in the region. They are playing the University of Indianapolis this Saturday at noon at the Nita and Eddie DeRose Thunder Bowl, and we're joined now by the head coach of the Thunderwolves, John Wristen. Coach Wristen, how's it going today?
It's going great. Just trying to get ready for practice. It's always nice to be practicing during Thanksgiving break.
Coach, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. It is a little bit of a challenge, I guess, with a holiday right smack dab in the middle of the week, but I would imagine all the preparation you put into for the season that maybe Thanksgiving gets on the back burner a little bit this week.
Well, what's nice is that, you know, what do you associate Thanksgiving with besides being around family, just watching football and being a part of it? And I think it's really nice that we're able to have our team together and eat Thanksgiving dinner and try to go win a playoff game.
Talking with John Wristen, the RMAC Coach of the Year for the second year in a row. CSU-Pueblo 11-0, number 1 in the nation. Coach, I think I've seen this movie before, exactly like last year. The only difference, I guess, is last year was a little bit unexpected. This year, you had the target on your backs, and everybody was chasing you all year.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think this team, you know, when I started the 2012 season, I really, you couldn't compare this 2011 team to what we have in 2012, and I think our guys have done a great job of embracing the role that they've been able to establish here. And so I wanted them to understand that in the very beginning that you're going to get everybody's best shot. And I think we've done a nice job of handling it, and I think we're a more mature team. I think we know what to expect in the playoffs, not being our first time going through it. And so I'm really looking at our resilience that we've been able to develop over the season and hopefully be able to carry over in the playoffs.
CSU-Pueblo playing the University of Indianapolis this Saturday at noon at the Nita and Eddie DeRose Thunder Bowl. Coach Ross Dowson had another outstanding year for you. It was named RMAC Offensive Player of the Year, first team all-conference, unanimous Offensive Player of the Year. But his numbers, when you look at them compared to, I guess, some of the other guys around the country, around the league, you guys, I guess, aren't running that spread option or the spread offense like a lot of teams are, you know, the no-huddle 24/7. You have some elements of it. But what has he meant to your team in terms of leadership and just we've had him on the show a couple weeks ago. I mean, he just seems like a great kid.
He's the foundation of what this program has been built on. He's epitome of a great student, does the right thing socially, and he plays a pretty good football. So those are things I think that are required in that order to be successful. And I think he really does a nice job with that. So, and then, you know, the thing about it, he's, if you look at his passing efficiency ratio, I mean, to me, that's really more important than yards and touchdowns and all that other stuff. So he's right up with the top of the country in that passing efficiency rate.
Talking with John Wristen, head football coach at CSU-Pueblo, and 3 guys on the offensive line named first team all-conference. And in watching you guys play all year, it seems like it really starts on the offensive line. And the other category that you guys do really well at is your defensive backs. Would you say those are 2 of the strengths on the team this year?
Yeah, you know, I think we've done a nice job with our offensive line, like I said in the very beginning of the season. When you have over 100 starts in there, you got some experiences to be able to see it. And those guys have seen those issues, and they worked through it, and they're well coached by a guy named Chris Simonton. And then our defensive backs have really matured this year. They were young. We lost our all-regional player in Stephen Dickens, early on in fall camp, and he's been out all year. And C.J. Roberts has stepped up, but Mark Sterling has had some great leadership. And so, and then Gerard Lacey has really come on at our strong safety spot, and Nick Henderson's been kind of glue back there, free safety. So it's really nice being able to have those guys and the way they've responded.
Coach, we always seem to be talking to you when it's the biggest game in program history, and I guess you could say this is the biggest game in program history once again. You got Indianapolis coming to town, a new region for the RMAC this year as we're in with the Lone Star, but and the GLIAC. What do you know about Indianapolis, and what do you expect this Saturday?
Well, I was very impressed with what they did last Saturday. I thought they were a well-coached team. They were well-motivated, and they came to play in that game, and they had a lot of juice to them. And so we're going to get their best shot, and they're very talented on the defensive end spot. They play their really a gap sound and run of the ball, and they're built a lot like us. I think there's a lot of similarities to that. So it's going to be one heck of a battle, and hopefully everybody come down and watch one heck of a playoff game. Well,
hey, Coach, I know you got a bunch of things going on this week. We thank you for taking some time out, and we'll see you Saturday, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Eric.
All right, that is John Wristen, the RMAC Coach of the Year for the second year in a row, was also the National Coach of the Year last year. You got to think he's got a pretty good shot at it again, as the Pueblo Thunderwolves are the #1 team in the nation, and what a job he's done in just 5 years, back-to-back #1 seeds in the region. We did have some other football going on this past weekend as Chadron State was the #3 seed. Unfortunately, the Eagles fall to West Texas A&M 38-30. You might remember West Texas lost to CSU-Pueblo in week 1 of the season. Chadron actually had a 14-0 lead. West Texas came back. It was actually 38-23 at one point. Chadron came back, scored a touchdown, got the onside kick, and then nearly made a 4th down conversion. As we know, Chadron State, it can be very entertaining football, especially in the NCAAs. What a great season for them, though. 9-3, they finish up #2 in the RMAC. And here's some of their post-game press conference after the loss to West Texas A&M.
Yeah, when you look at it, I mean, this was a game of momentum. We had the momentum right away. We let it slip away. And then it was just a dogfight that second half. And when you look at it, I'm proud of our guys, man. They fight till the end. And, and today was another day we fought to the end. And just that time ran out. When you look at things, I already hit on a little bit. But I think the field goals is probably the thing that I'm going to stress when we watch film the most.
That was Chadron State coach Jay Long, and he had a great season in his first year taking over, and came over from Black Hills State. By the way, Black Hills actually was in action this past weekend too. They played South Dakota Mines, their rival game, and won 35-6. So Black Hills finishes on a 3-game win streak. So what a season for Coach John Reiners. When we come back, we're going to talk about that national championship. We're going to have Damon Martin on, and then a little later on in the show, we'll talk about RMAC volleyball with those 5 teams making the NCAA tournament. You're listening to the RMAC Radio Show.